Angela is the new Season 4 hero coming to Marvel Rivals. In her description, it says she's immune to knockback and launching up abilities while in her charge. However, attacks like Jeff's Bubbles and Invisible Woman's Force Push and many others can interrupt her. What other lies, misconceptions, and special interactions exist with not only Angela, all the new Season 4 team-ups? Let's find out. We already talked about how Jeff's Bubble and Invisible Woman's Force Push can knock her back. Same with Mr. Fantastic's grab if done at the right angle. And because she's not CC immune, she's also susceptible to a Mantis Sleep and a Luna Freeze. Penny's Web Snare also stops her in her tracks. Iron Fist can parry it. It's important to note that his kick in a head-to-head does not win against Angela's long spear hitbox. However, if she was using it to run away, you can interrupt her. Same with Black Widow's kick. I also tested if Magic's dash can win in a head-to-head against Angela's spear, and no. However, her new team up with Doctor Strange, provided that there's an enemy next to Angela when charging, can interrupt her. The only character that can win in a head-to-head against Angela's spear is Emma Frost and her grab, and yes, you can portal through her charge as Magic. Now that we know Angela's not immune to any launching up abilities or slowing effects while using her charge, are there any abilities or ultimates that her charge can stop? Well, ultimates that you have to cast like Iron Man's ultimate, Scarlet Witch's ultimate, and Spider-Man's ultimate all get cancelled or reset. The same goes for Psylocke's ultimate if timed correctly, Venom's if timed correctly, and Doctor Strange if timed correctly. It can also cancel Emma Frost. Also, Emma Frost's mind control still works on Angela when in her charge. Surprisingly enough, the charge doesn't work against Iron Fist. He takes the damage but he still pops his ult. So casting ults can be interrupted, but not transformation ults. I say that, but then her charge can still cancel Penny's ultimate, if timed correctly. Alright, now that you know what abilities Angela can stop, let's see what abilities can stop Angela's ultimate. Funnily enough, Penny can stop both Angela's spear toss and her dive. Although it would be cool for Captain America to reflect her spear toss, he cannot, disabling his ability to sprint and dive. Iron Fist can parry the initial spear toss, allowing him to use his kick so he can get out of the ultimate quicker. If you don't know how Angela's ultimate works, it does three things. It damages them, it binds them, and it disables all movement abilities. Most characters can still use their ultimates, but there's a few exceptions that I'll get to later. Emma Frost can use her diamond form to get out of Angela's ult a lot easier than other characters because she isn't pulled back by it, similar to the Thing. But heroes like Scarlet Witch will have their phase deactivated. Cloak Shroud can be used preemptively to protect him and his team, however, if he's already bounded by the Angela ult, he won't be able to use it. Now, Angela's ult doesn't disable ultimate abilities, however, there are a few exceptions. Like if you're wondering if you can use Winter Soldier's ultimate to jump out of Angela's ult, think again. And this is the same for Mr. Fantastic, Wolverine, and Phoenix. However, there's other ultimates like Hela, Psylocke, Venom, Penny, Hulk when transforming to Monster Hulk, or de-transforming to Banner, or transforming from Banner to Hulk, Jeff, and Storm, as well as their team up Shark Tornado, are all unaffected by Angela's ultimate and allows them to break free from it. It's important to know this only breaks out one singular person and not the whole entire ultimate. So if the rest of the team is still bounded by the ult, you get free but not your team. Also forgot to mention that Blade's ultimate is also free game. But the most surprising discovery is Namor. Being able to use his water cocoon thing, or what, I don't know what it's called, seemingly being one of the only abilities that can escape Angela's ult. Even though Doctor Strange can't use his Cloak of Levitation to get out of Angela's ultimate, he can use his portal. So yeah, I was personally surprised because Captain America can't use his dash, Jeff can't use his Land Shark ability, not even Star-Lord can use his flips. However, his Rocket teleport team up does work, whether you place the teleport before or even after you've gotten snared by Angela's ult. Also, if you're wondering if Penny can like avoid Angela's ult, yes she can, but it depends on like the angle and distance and how fast your reaction time is. Else you cannot use the webs to like web zip yourself out of the way, because it will disable it, similar with the Punisher. And if he's caught mid zipline, it will still stop him. A few niche interactions you probably want to know is if invisible targets are affected or bounded by Angela's ultimate, like Invisible Woman or Loki, and the answer is yes, they still get bounded by her ultimate. Specifically with Loki, he's unable to teleport to his clones even if they're not within radius of the ultimate. Can you use Bucky and Cap's team up to help one of your teammates to get out of Angela's ultimate? Sadly no, this is disabled. Same thing with Human Torch and the Thing, but I couldn't fully confirm for Wolverine's throw because the AI was being a little funky. A very important interaction for every Vanguard to know is if Angela can pierce through your shields. For Doctor Strange, yes. Magneto, yes. Magneto's bubble, no. Hulk's bubble, no. Emma's shield, yes. Cap's shield, no. Angela's shield, no. This is important for tanks to know as you don't want to be holding up your shields and taking damage. Can Angela charge through shields? Through Doctor Strange? Yup. Through Magneto? Yes. Through Magneto's bubble? No. Through Hulk's bubble? No. Through Cap's shield? Yes. through Angela's shield. Yes, this was an interesting one because she can charge through all of these shields except for the bubbles. However, against Cap's shield and Angela's shield, she can't melee through them. This makes sense. Cap and Angela use physical shields, whereas Magneto, Strange, and Emma, they all use some sort of projection, whether magnetic, magic, or psychic. So I was surprised that she can charge straight through Cap's shield. I will not be enjoying that. Of course, I know some of you guys want to know what happens if two Angelas charge at each other. Well, head on, it's a clash. Angela's not the only new thing coming to season 4, as we're getting a lot of new team-ups. Can Thor's lightning spear pierce through tanks? Thor's new team-up with Angela allows him to throw lightning and dive to it. However, throwing it at tank shields does nothing. Can Panther's Gamma team-up save him from Angela's charge? Panther just got added to Hulk's Gamma team-up. When under a certain threshold, if he takes damage, his Gamma shield will automatically pop. Can this Gamma bubble save him from an Angela charge? Well, if you had the bubble beforehand, yes. However, no. Even though he takes the initial damage and the shield pops up, he still gets pulled. Can the Gamma Panther team-up prevent a Mantis Leap? Yes. Mantis' sleep does do damage, and the Gamma team-up cleanses that effect. And if you're wondering if it works on Luna Freeze, yes it does. Although you still take the damage. Can the Gamma team-up stop an Emma grab? If you had the bubble already, yes. But no, it does not prevent or stop the Emma grab from happening, because the initial grab doesn't do damage, it's the slam. So at best, you're at least stopping yourself from getting kicked and slammed against the wall. Speaking of Groot, can Angela escape a Groot ult? Surprisingly, no. Not with her charge, nor can she just fly away. Even when she's on the ground, she can't use her wings to get up in the air. Some of the most asked questions that I got were, what are her abilities when she's on the ground? Well, she only has one ability that she can use, and that's her shield. She won't be able to charge, she won't be able to use her diving, but she can only use her axes. That's pretty much it. Does it jig? Okay. Next question, is there a limit to how many people she can pin? There's not really a limit to how many people she can pin. However, whenever she does pin a target, it does lower her fuel gauge by a lot. Unless like 6 enemies are clumped together, you're not really gonna get 6 people pinned all at once and then throw them off the map. Is she a good anti-fly counter? She can bother the people that are in the air as well, like Iron Man, even though Iron Man has like a fuel gauge as well. And I feel like she doesn't have enough burst damage to really assassinate these flyers. But in my personal opinion, I still think the Thing or even Penny are just better flyer counters as a Vanguard. Is it okay, that's all the myths we got for this video. If you have any other questions or myths, comment them down below. I'm doing a series where I get MVP with every single hero in Marvel Rivals, so if you're interested, click the video right here. But until then, I'll see you next time. Be mighty.